My best friend stole my business idea, then asked me for a job. A few years ago, I came up with an idea for a small online business. It wasn't revolutionary, but I believed it had potential. At the time, I was working a full-time job, so I spent my evenings building the website and creating a plan. My best friend knew everything about it. We had been friends for nearly 10 years, and I trusted him completely. Whenever I made progress, I shared it with him. One night, I even showed him my business model, marketing strategy, and future goals. He seemed excited and told me he thought it could be successful. A few months later, I noticed something strange. He suddenly became secretive. He stopped asking about my project and avoided talking about business altogether. I didn't think much of it until one of my coworkers sent me a link. My stomach dropped. My friend had launched a company, and it was almost identical to the business I had been building. The same target audience, the same services, even a similar website design. I couldn't believe it. When I confronted him, he claimed it was just a coincidence. According to him, two people simply happened to have the exact same idea at the same time. I knew that was nonsense, but there wasn't much I could do. I stopped talking to him and focused on my own launch. If he wanted to compete, fine, we'd compete. The difference was that I actually understood the business. I had spent months researching the market, talking to customers, and improving the product. He only had the surface-level information I had shared with him. For the first few months, it looked like he was winning. His company grew quickly. He posted constantly on social media about being an entrepreneur. Mutual friends congratulated him. Some even assumed I had copied him. It was frustrating, but I kept working. Instead of chasing attention, I focused on customer service. I listened to feedback, I fixed problems, I improved the product every week. Slowly, my business started gaining momentum. Customers returned, word of mouth spread, revenue increased month after month. Meanwhile, my friend's company began struggling, customers complained, orders were delayed, reviews became increasingly negative. About 2 years later, my business had grown enough for me to quit my full-time job. For the first time in my life, I was working for myself. Then, out of nowhere, I got a message from my former friend. He wanted to meet. Out of curiosity, I agreed. When we sat down, he looked completely different, tired, stressed, defeated. After a few minutes of small talk, he finally got to the point. His company was failing, he had debt, employees had left, and he needed a job. Then he asked if I was hiring. For a second, I honestly thought he was joking. The person who had taken my idea was now asking me for employment. I asked why he thought I would help him. He stared at the table and admitted something I never expected. He apologized, not for getting caught, not because his business failed, but because he genuinely regretted what he had done. He said he had been jealous of me. He saw my idea, thought it would be easier to take a shortcut, and convinced himself it wasn't wrong. In the end, the shortcut cost him a friendship and a business. I thanked him for the apology. Then I told him I wasn't hiring, at least not for him. We shook hands and left. I haven't seen him since. The funny thing is, he didn't fail because he stole my idea. He failed because he thought the idea was the valuable part. It wasn't. The hard work behind it was. And that's the one thing he could never copy.